This goes out to all the women in the world, especially her. You know it don't even matter your age, don't even matter your color. Yo, fellas, I ain't forget about y'all. This is for everybody that like to dance. Just listen to what I'm saying and do it and take a chance. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours, then I put mine. Then we can dip down low and roll it round. Just get on the floor like I said before. Y'all remember that down low? Just put a little dip with it. Now roll those hips with it. Pop it, push it, rock it, roll it. Take control it, I come hold it. It's all in fun, so take a chance. Just get on the floor and do that dance, y'all. I know you like it, so don't try to fight it. Turn around, baby, let me see you from the back. Yeah, I like it like that. Get up now, roll those hips. Drop down, double up on those dips. Freak nasty, wanna see, can y'all do this right here? I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours, then I put mine. Then we can dip down low and roll it right. Back again with the second verse. It's all clean, so I'm not gonna curse. Drop a bass like a bad habit. Love all women, cause I gotta have it. Coming at y'all in stereo. I'm riding that thing like a rodeo. Hang on, baby, cause the ride is rough, and I got my girls in the front. Now and later, just bumping that rump. Raise it up, let me see that brown. Slap a girl, make it jiggle around. Round and round that rump goes. Where it stop, yo, no one knows. Yeah. Freak nasty, wanna see, can y'all do this right here? I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours, then I put mine. Then we can dip down low and roll it grind.
Well, all right, y'all. All right, y'all. If you ain't dipping, you must be tripping. If you ain't doing it down low, gots to go. Gots to go. To the people that moving slow, to the dance floor. Yo, DJ, pump it up some more.
It's off to the show in a limo. Before the show, I gotta get that dough. Pay them girls what they work. Slip that money under that skirt. Take it off, baby, let me see. You might get a little more Lucci. G-string, having oh so much fun. Playing inside between them buns. Shorty got it going on like Marvin. Teasing me and she know I'm starving. Lick you up, then lick you down. I ain't finished, girl, turn around. Lick you up and down your back, cause I'm that freak, I'm freaky like that. Freak nasty, wanna see, can y'all do this right? I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours, then I put mine. Then we can dip down low and roll it right. I'm setting it off to another level. You digging freak nasty without a shovel? This is my world. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut. So what's up, yo DJ? When the party's getting slow, join this jam and watch that flow get taken over like a 94. When I had the whole world getting down low. New Orleans born, ATL living. Freak nasty is what I'm giving. My juice is sweet like Georgia peaches. Women suck it up like leeches. It feels so good, you must admit you like this. Shh, yeah, y'all know the song. So come on, won't you sing it? I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip.
All right. How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing, chat? Go ahead and take this off the screen. And Luke's here. We can go ahead and add him. How's it going, Luke? Luke's not here. Okay, Luke's not here then. Luke's with us in spirit right now. I see him messing with his mic. I can see the mute symbol going on and off. Oh boy. So how are we all enjoying the war? I'm told it's going really good. Luke, there's Luke.
I'm doing absolutely great, Beglov. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. There was a trailer for a new Spider-Man movie that looked like shit. That was cool. I didn't even watch the whole trailer in all fairness, but
I'm always behind you guys. I'm always behind you. I gotta check this out. Hold on, let me check it out right now. I won't play it. I won't play it. I'll just play it myself.
I didn't watch the thing either because I saw people like sharing like clips. They're like, look at all these homages to our famous covers they're doing, and it's like, yeah, that looks just like the comic book if it was like gray and colorless and sludgy and blurry. Like, yeah, that looks just like it, I guess.
People do like that sort of thing.
I don't even like this Spider-Man in particular. He spent the first few movies being Tony Stark's fucking boyfriend for some reason. I didn't even see the second one, the one that I guess had Mysterio. I didn't even bother watching it because I didn't care. And I only saw the third one because it had Tobey Maguire in it, and like, you know, the Green Goblin and Doc Ock from that universe. Like, that's the only reason I bothered to watch it.
It's actually opening up with "Hello, I'm Peter Parker," as if we don't already know that after all these years.
Also, it's called Brand New Day, so I guess it's based partly on the Brand New Day era, which is right after One More Day, which is the arguably one of the worst points in the character's history. Like, I don't care, man. I don't. The MCU is so fucking dead. It's so run into the dirt. Who gives a shit? Like,
they have the Punisher now? Huh.
I guess. Is it? I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know. It looks bad. It
actually reminds me a lot of. It actually reminds me a lot of the second Spider-Man movie back with the other one, the second one, where Spider-Man's having doubts about himself and so he's losing his powers.
Yeah, I'm still not 100% on like what the fuck was supposed to be happening there. He just lost his powers. I guess it was a psychological thing. I guess. I don't know, man. I like the Raimi movies, and I feel they're aging very well, but there's still things about those movies. Like, he takes his mask off way too fucking much in those movies, and it's annoying because it's like, I want to see Spider-Man be Spider-Man, but it's also stupid. Like, in the third one, like, Venom keeps like pulling the symbiote away because at the time Hollywood had this mindset like, you have to see the actors' faces. Like, the audience is stupid apparently and has to see the actors' faces or they don't know what's going on.
Hold on, did Spider-Man just block a samurai sword with his webbing and then split the sword apart with his webbing?
I don't know. I didn't watch it, Luke. Like I said, I saw clips. I saw stills.
There's a scene. There's a scene where he's taking on these horde of red ninjas, and
the hand is in it.
Huh?
The hand is in it.
I'm guessing that's what that is. And so they one of them jumps out from above in awesome high shot with the sword coming down, and so he plops it with his webbing and then pulls the webbing apart and shatters the sword with his webbing. Can the webbing do that?
I guess if he pulls it, I guess that's more his strength does that. You know, like I don't know. I don't care.
I mean, part of me wants to think that I'm looking at some of the slow-mo scenes, and I'm almost thinking that AI was used to make this. I mean, they probably didn't, but they could have if they wanted to.
I don't doubt it, dude. I'm sure they're sneaking that shit in way more than we're told. That's probably why everything looks like shit. Everything just vaguely looks like shit. You know, like. So one of the big criticisms of the MCU, and I sort of agree with it, and I sort of don't, is that directors were like. Directors were heavily hamstrung early on in the MCU. They were heavily micromanaged by the studio. And to some extent, I think that produced some really good product early on. Because early on, the idea with the MCU was, you know, I like Tim Burton's Batman, but it's very much Tim Burton's Batman. I like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, but it's very much Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Where the early MCU films were like, no, we want to just genuinely bring these characters to life. We don't want such and such director's Iron Man. We want Iron Man up there. And that's why they just heavily leaned on these directors that no, you're not going to put your fucking fingerprints all over it. You're going to do it the way we tell you. Early on, I think that produced some good results. But as with anything, when you see something enough times, you get bored with it. And I remember seeing the second Doctor Strange movie that Sam Raimi directed. And by the way, it's not good. I wouldn't recommend it. It has its moments, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you're the kind of nerd that probably already saw it. That said, though, it was a Sam Raimi movie. And that stylized directing returning in these kind of movies was something that at the time was refreshing.
Oh, yes.
So anything gets old if you do it too much, and there's always course corrections and pendulum swings. But I think early on in the MCU, that was the right call. Like, no, we don't need Tim Burton rubbing his dick prints all over it. We don't need egotistical directors making their version of the character. You know what I mean? But after a while, you've kind of established this universe and these characters, and then I think it would have been a better move to then let directors be a bit more stylized with it. You know what I mean? In other words, I think it was a really good move when you're laying the foundations of this, but maybe not so much later on. Forney says he doesn't understand why people shit on Superman 3. It's fine. Is that the one that had Richard Pryor in it? Where Richard Pryor was Toy Man in one of those movies?
Wait, Spider-Man 3?
Superman.
Oh, Superman.
It might have been 4. I don't know. 3 and 4 blur together to me.
And I can't. It's been so long since I've seen him. I gotta watch him again.
Oh, he said Spider-Man 3. I'm sorry. I misread it. Spider-Man 3 I don't think is that bad either. I don't like the whole Sandman had a hand in killing Uncle Ben twist. That was dumb. I think Sam Raimi purposely fucked it up a little bit because he hates Venom. Like, that's basically an open secret. He really, really didn't want to do Venom because he hates that character. But you got to remember at the time, you weren't guaranteed 5 movies, so they did kind of characters in order of importance. And Spider-Man has a very clear 1, 2, and 3 when it comes to his biggest villains. I will say the one thing I always will praise about Spider-Man 3 is that scene where the Sandman puts himself together is absolutely brilliant. Just a film. That is like a small silent movie in and of itself. There is so much emotion conveyed in that. There is so like that is a downright emotional scene. And on paper, it should be ridiculous and nobody should feel anything. But damned if you don't feel it when he's trying to grab the locket. You don't feel the sheer force of will he's using to put himself in. Like, you feel it. You feel everything in that one. Chat says Raimi wanted the Vulture instead of Venom. I know, but that's because Raimi, stopped reading Spider-Man in 1975. So, he has no love of Venom. But you got to understand, from a studio standpoint, from a Marvel standpoint, Spider-Man has a pretty clear 1, 2, and 3 when it comes to his biggest villains. Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Venom, in that order. And that was back when, you weren't guaranteed sequels by any stretch. So you did stuff in order of importance. I actually think it would have been better if Spider-Man 3 would have just been him in the black costume dealing with Sandman. And then just Venom appears at the end and we have Venom for Spider-Man 4. Because I feel like the longer you have him in the black costume, the better. If I was doing a Spider-Man TV show, I'd have him in a black costume. I'd have him with the symbiote for at least most of a season. Because that makes the symbiote is corrupting you thing, then you could see it slowly happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the cartoon show, they did this over the course of 3 episodes.
Yeah. And that wasn't the thing in the original comic. And I think it's a better addition, but in the original comic, the symbiote actually just the reason he got rid of it, first of all, he was just inherently disgusted when he found out it was alive, but also it would, because it feeds off adrenaline, it would just hijack his body when he was sleeping. So he would sleepwalk through some Spider-Man stuff. He'd wake up tired and beat up and not know why. But I think it's much more compelling to be like, yeah, the symbiote is amplifying you, but it's also making you an asshole. Like, that's way more compelling.
As opposed,
Yes.
yeah, in the cartoon show, the suit, like, right before he's about to do something bad, he stops himself, but the suit reaches out and does the bad thing for him. Like when he's fighting Shocker, he has him pinned down. He's about to push him off the edge, but he stops himself. But the suit comes out and just knocks him off the cliff anyway.
Yeah, I think it's better if like the suit is just corrupting him, and that's why he gets rid of it. And I forgot that like fucking Harry Osborn is Green Goblin with his weird like fucking skateboard gear or whatever. I almost forgot that was in the movie too. Like there was so much, and they shoved Gwen Stacy in there for no fucking reason. They shoved a whole bunch of shit in that movie for like just no apparent reason. Also, Spider-Man's black costume is one of the best fucking designs. It is Spider-Man's costume is so iconic, and the black costume damn near equals it. And in the movie, it's just Spider-Man's costume, but black and white. And it looks like shit. Like, you can't just give me the white spider in the front and the back, you know? And then, like, Venom has the white spider. When he becomes Venom, like, I don't know. It's not a bad movie, though. I never thought it was a bad movie. It's definitely the weakest of the three, but I never thought it was bad. Now, I mean, I'm a Spider-Man guy. I'm inclined to, but I mean, like, I don't like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I don't like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Like, I think Spider-Man 3 is better than theirs. Chad says Harry was originally supposed to be the Hobgoblin. That would have been better, but again, we're just shoving way too much shit in that movie. It's just too much fucking going on. It just really is. Also, I don't know if I'm feeling Topher Grace as Brock. I know a lot of people complain that he's not like big and imposing like Eddie Brock is in the comics, but like, I don't know. It's not even that. I just wasn't feeling him that much. Topher Grace feels like he's half-assing that is the biggest thing. There's a lot of people in that movie that just feel like that. And then like the relationship conflict with Peter and MJ is like really forced. I don't know. Again, I don't think it's a bad movie. There's enough things in that I would sit down and watch it again easily. And I didn't dislike it when I saw it in the theater, but yeah, it definitely was not. It definitely was not great. But again, I wasn't 100% on Spider-Man 2. I don't know. The whole like losing his power arc in the middle of it, it's like I didn't like it. I don't think it's well explained enough. And also I feel like I could cut that out of the movie and not really miss anything. It really feels like you could just chop that whole shit out of the movie. Or even just have him be like, you know, I just quit being Spider-Man because it's ruining my life. And then he just has to do it again. I will say the Doc Ock arms look so good. You talk about a practical effect that still holds up. My God, they look great still. And I mean, that's because they're practical effects for most of the time. They go the Jurassic Park route where the only time it's CGI is when they just have to make it CGI. You know, when the practical effects just couldn't do it. You know what I mean? A lot of the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans were practical effects. There was a lot of practical effects in those movies. Like, a lot of other directors would have just given you a CGI fest that would have just aged like shit. The other thing I never liked about those movies, I just don't like the actual costume. Specifically the white, like raised webbing on the red parts. It's like this weird metallic shit on his like I don't even know what that is supposed to be. And I don't know, man. Maybe the general audience just would have laughed at this and not felt it, but I just want the motherfucker in spandex. I'm not gonna lie, because first of all, he's a poor college or high school student, so it's hard enough to imagine he was able to sew that shit together with spandex. But like, I don't even know what the costume in the movie is made of. Like, what did you eat? This is like some space age NASA fabric or some shit. I don't even know what half this shit is. And you could say like, oh, it wouldn't look as good, but it's like, I've been to cons and I've seen motherfuckers walking around in just spandex Spider-Man costumes where they either use one-way glass or just like, I've seen people use basically fucking screen door that they painted white over the eyes or something. But like in any case, like I've seen costumes at Comic Cons that people put together spandex, and I'm like, this looks great. This would look fine in a movie. Like, why wouldn't it? It's like, oh, but and then everything, I don't know. Hollywood has to over-design superhero costumes. They can't help themselves. Even in the MCU where stuff is like more faithful, they can't help it. Batman's got to be so fucking armored all the time in these movies that he can't even move. I mean, it was the joke both on like the set of Batman Begins and the set of the Tim Burton Batman movies where like Michael Keaton and like Christian Bale both said like anyone could beat the shit out of me in this costume because I can't fucking move. Like Michael Keaton couldn't turn his head in those movies. Like, I don't know, man. I just feel like less is more on a lot of these costumes. Like, especially Spider-Man. You could argue, okay, Batman's a dude, so maybe he needs more padding. He's just a guy. But Spider-Man's Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Spider-Man can, like, crack, like, 9 ribs and sleep it off and be fine, like, 2 days later. You know, he could bench press a Ford F-150 without breaking a sweat. He has a 3-story vertical leap. He's not a normal man. Okay? He doesn't need a bunch of armor and fucking pads like he's Tony Hawk doing skateboard tricks. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to see the new Spider-Man movie. It looks bad. I kind of want to see Supergirl, and I want to see Mario next month. That's about it.
I guess the only stick with the new Spider-Man is that like the effects from the last movie are still in, and so no one remembers him, and so he's basically starting over with
his terrible mystery meet MJ has her own Paul boyfriend from the fucking One More Day comics. So we got Cuck Spider-Man in here. That's great. Not that his version of MJ is something you should sweat about losing anyways. Fucking 6 out of 10 who's a 9. Can we get Harvey Weinstein back, Luke? Can we do that? Like, I mean, like, look, most of our elites like eat babies in satanic rituals. Okay, so is it really that big of a deal that Harvey Weinstein casting couch some consenting adults? Can we just look past this now? Because I'm really tired of pretending like Zendaya is a sex symbol when she's a girl next door on her best day. Like, I like Sydney Sweetie. She's pretty fucking hot. Don't get me wrong. But I also am old enough to remember that, like, in 1997, she was nothing special. At least in Hollywood. You know what I mean? Like, there was a new Sydney Sweeney every fucking day on every shitty sitcom that probably got canceled in a week. Like, I just want Harvey back. Okay. I want Harvey back. Let him go. Trump, pardon Harvey. Okay. I know you probably have to go ask your Israeli masters for permission, but they'll probably let you. He's right up their alley. So pardon Harvey. All right. Let's get him back out there. I'm tired of this. Look, I'm tired of a fucking like mystery meet mulatto girl who isn't even hot being Mary Jane in my Spider-Man movies. I don't want this anymore. I'm tired of it. Enough. All right. No more. It's time to stop. So did you see Megyn Kelly fighting with Mark Levin?
I heard the cliff notes. How is that going? Still progressing?
Okay, so Mark Levin was fighting with Megyn Kelly because Megyn Kelly doesn't want to bow down to Israel. And look, I'm not a Megyn Kelly fan. I've shit on Megyn Kelly since I've hated Megyn Kelly since W was in office. Like, honest to God, I used to fucking couldn't stand her on Fox News. But she's arguing with Mark Levin, and then she just goes off on a tweet about like Mark Levin has a micro penis. And this is why he acts this way. And I'm like, go off, Queen. Like, I'm saying, first of all, let's be clear. I don't know for a fact if Mark Levin has a micro penis, and I don't believe Megyn Kelly does either. But I believe it. He acts that way. Like he did. Okay. Micro Mark, that's his new nickname. And then I guess he ran to like Trump. Because Trump immediately then goes on Truth Social, which nobody uses. Trump, knock it off. All right. Like, just like enough. All right. But he goes on Truth Social, and Trump's rants now are, I mean, they always kind of were, but now they're like 400 pages of I ain't reading all that nigga. But he goes off about what a great American Mark Levin is, because Sean Hannity nicknamed him the Great One. And I don't know, man. I don't like the Republican Party going back to like 2003. I'm really not feeling this.
No.
I'm not. I'm sorry, man. I mean, I feel like we made a lot of progress in pulling the Republican Party's head out of its ass in the last 10 years. And that just seemed to have all evaporated like kind of overnight. And I don't know why. It'd be like if your buddy who used to be like a crackhead was like clean and sober and had a really good wife and a great job and, you know, a wife and kids. And it's like, wow, that's really just in your past. And for no reason, like he didn't even have a bad day. Nothing seemingly triggered him. You just find him the next day and he's just high as a kite, just smoking crack again. And you're like, where did this come from? What happened? I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. I'm so fucking black. I'm so black-pilled anymore with it now, man. I don't know what to do.
I'll be white-pilled. I'll be white-pilled for both of us then.
I don't know. I'm just back to being politically homeless, I guess.
Ugh.
I mean, I can't join the Libertarian Party because, first of all, it's just not going to win. Stop me. Might as well just being nothing.
Just logistically speaking, it's not going to win.
Second of all, like, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like libertarian thought should be about more than weed and buttholes. Like, that's just me.
Ann Coulter is not liked around here, but she was totally right when she said they're only about pot and prostitution. That's pretty much all they've got going.
That's all they do. And look, I think pot should be 100% legal. I think prostitution should be legal. Sure, it's a free fucking country. Okay, yeah. Those aren't necessarily my top fucking priorities. They're certainly not my only priorities. And for fuck's sake, let's close the border, libertarian. Can we get past this? Open borders is a communist fucking ideal, okay? I don't know where you got this in your heads. Like, I understand the thought process of, oh, people should be able to come and go as they please. And it's like, yeah, but we don't live in fucking should land, all right? Like, maybe if the whole world was first world and free, if we lived in that kind of a world, Luke, I think open borders would probably be a net positive. But I don't know about you. I don't live in that fucking world. All right. Maybe fire up your Rick and Morty portal gun and go to that world and have open borders there. But here in this world, I need to keep the third worlders out. Okay. Or everything will turn to shit and we won't have any freedom.
The assumption that the libertarians make is that every single person in the world has the exact same perspective of liberty that we do. Like, no, they don't. They don't have that. And we should filter those people out.
Yeah. I don't want them here. Like, period. Just, sorry. Okay. We are a sovereign nation. We're allowed to have borders. Like, I'm not an anarchist. So yeah, just knock it off with the open borders shit. That's my biggest problem with Massey. And Massey isn't even like full open borders. He just doesn't. he just doesn't give a shit. Like every time we're like trying to secure the border, he wants to whine about the fucking budget, and it's like now's not the time, dude. Like I feel you, man, but like this is like the last thing in the fucking world to cut. Okay, like. Forney is going to owe me a sub at Bruno's though when Massey is reelected.
Oh, God. Wait, you're going there?
Yep. Going to owe me a sub here at Bruno's. I think I'm going to go with either the spicy Italian or the portobello. Forney says Massey is going down. I don't think so, man. I don't believe that will be the case. Carve out a day in May. That sub is mine. If you mean that you will be buying me one, yes. It'll be yours in the sense that it'll be going on your debit card. No, man, I don't know. This whole thing's a fucking disaster. Good God. The other day Trump's like, we closed the Strait of Hamas. Or Hamas, whatever, Hormuz. And I'm not even a fan of him, but Ramsey Paul had a bit where he says, like, this guy now sounds like Ethan Ralph. If you want the truth of it, we closed the strait. What do you think about that, bish? But you know, it's going great. You know, the war is almost over, but the war is just beginning, and we won the war, and there is no war, and NATO, please send help. I don't know. And, you know, we bombed a school. That was cool, too, I guess. But, hey, at least gas prices went really high up. That's cool.
Humbug.
It all sucks, dude. It all went to shit so fast. Like, when he covered up the Epstein stuff, I was like, this is pretty inexcusable, but fuck, man. Like, can we at least get the immigrants? At least he's deporting people and he's keeping us out of new wars. That was what I said back then. Well, I guess at least we're still deporting people. Knock on fucking wood. It's any day now. He's just gonna be, you know what? I'm gonna bring the Mexicans back. We need them to fight in our war. It's all such shit. Who's the guy that resigned from the fucking counterterrorism thing today? The decorated veteran and family man that I'm supposed to believe is a traitor. Chicken Hawk Mark Levin with his micro penis tells me I should think this guy's a traitor. I'm sorry, man. Just at a glance, like, was it Joe Kent and then like Tucker Carlson, the fucking Boy Scout. I'm supposed to think these guys are all like traitors, but I'm supposed to think Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro are fucking just straight up American patriots. Are you fucking kidding me? Let's see, what is that guy's name? Okay, so it's Joe Kent. Let's see. So he resigned from Director of National Counterterrorism Center, effective today. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran poses no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. How is that even fucking controversial? Mark Rubio said that. Trump said that. Like half the people for this war said that. But he's a traitor, I guess. I don't know, man. You know, it's funny. Conservatives love the troops, Luke, in the way that, like, the Aztecs love the virgins that they sacrifice. Like, we're going to honor you. We're going to throw you a big party and a big feast and all. But ultimately, we're going to put you on the fucking altar. We're going to cut out your beating heart. And that's what it is with the troops. It's like, yeah, we love the troops, support the troops, pray for the troops, fucking troops. But get in the fucking meat grinder for Israel and Halliburton. And if you survive, here's 15% off at Chick-fil-A. Guess what, Luke? I don't really give a fuck about the troops. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't give a fuck about the troops. The only veteran I give a fuck about is my father. And it ain't because he's a veteran. Because he's a good man. He's my father. He's family. I don't give a fuck about the troops. I never really pretended to give a fuck about the troops. It's like, oh, wow, you signed on to kill fucking brown people for $30K a year? Awesome, I guess. I don't give a fuck. But I don't pretend to give a fuck about the troops so that I can sacrifice them to my false god. You don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about the troops. I've never. Oh, we wrap a fucking asshole in a uniform. I've never. That doesn't do anything for me. But everybody that claims to give a fuck about the troops, oh, we love the troops, but if one of them protests the war in Iran, we'll have his arm broken.
Yeah, there's just the neocons are getting a little too excited about this, and I mean, I want to have like a sudden Syria strike surprise where we're not doing that anymore, and I'm still hopeful that's going to be the case, but I don't know. As time progresses, that gets more and more annoying.
Let me shoot you a tweet. I want you to bring up this kid's picture. If I can find it. Okay, I'm going to shoot you this tweet on. I just need you to bring up the kid's picture. I'm going to shoot you this tweet on Discord. Okay. If you can put this kid's picture up. So let's see. One of these guys that fucking died in this nonsense. Matt Wallace tweeted this out where he was talking about this kid. Born in a normal family, studies hard in school, gets good grades, joins scouts, creates a charity, earns 21 merit badges, leads a service project, becomes Eagle Scout, joins military in 2023, getting help to pay for college, deployed in Kuwait, killed in an airstrike. Now, there's a lesson in this young boy's life story, by the way. This young man, I guess, probably not even 20 when he died. I don't know. I saw this a lot in my generation. I saw the good little boys, the all-American patriots, all mad about fucking 9/11, and I saw them go through the meat grinder. I saw some of them not come back, and I saw the ones that came back. They came back pretty worse for it. I saw on the news Pat Tillman, NFL star, walked away from millions of dollars to join the military, died in friendly fucking fire. What was the point of any of that? There was no point. The point was the war. The war was the objective. Always has been.
War is the health of the state, as they say.
Our founding fathers were not even particularly sure we should have a military, Luke. You'll never hear Glenn Beck, who loves the founding fathers. He'll have weird, creepy AI videos with George Washington talking about how we should love Israel. But you'll never hear these fucking conservatives, these evangelicals, actually talk about some of the shit the founding fathers believed. Like the fact that Washington really strongly considered abolishing the military when he became president. A lot of the writings of these times were like, hey, this is going to become like an unofficial fourth branch of the government. Dwight Eisenhower, famously, military-industrial complex speech.
Yeah.
This is going to choke us to death.
Yeah, oddly enough, John Adams, if I recall this correctly, he actually disbanded the army, and because he thought the military wasn't necessary anymore. And most people think that cost him his re-election.
honestly, I mean, an armed populace. I mean, the reality is America could never be conquered by an outside force. That's the stone cold reality. Couldn't be done. Yeah. What was one of the Japanese generals in World War II said? There's a rifle behind every blade of grass. Our own government can barely keep a hold of us half the fucking time. You think you could come here and do it? Theoretically, it's possible, I guess, that some foreign government could storm into DC and kill our leaders and quote unquote take the place. But then what? That's essentially grabbing a tiger by the balls.
It's like that old joke that Chris Rock would say. In this skit he said we conquered like Iraq is the most dangerous regime in the world. How come it took us 2 weeks to take over the country? You couldn't even take over Baltimore in 2 weeks.
This is all stupid. This war is insanely stupid. CNN, which I was always told by Trump that CNN is fake news, but now the Trump administration is showing us all this poll. CNN put out a poll where, quote, 100% of MAGA Republicans support this war. 100%. 100%. I mean, why stop there? Why not 101%? Why not 200%? Why not infinity percent? Sky's the limits when you're just fucking lying, I guess. But also, like, what does that even mean? 100% of MAGA Republicans. Define your terms, nigga. At this point, does it just mean people that agree with Trump? So are we saying that 100% of people that agree with Trump? I guess.
Yeah, just narrow down the scope.
100% of the people that are for this Iran, same fucking thing, are for this war. 100% of them are 100% of people that voted for Trump. 100% of the people that voted for Kamala. Oh, cool. How insightful, thank you, CNN. And the White House press secretary is sharing it like, look, see? The Toby Keith 2003 Iraq war propaganda was pretty stupid. But at least, I mean, if you're the kind of guy that thinks that the music at Texas Roadhouse really slaps, I guess it could appeal to you. I don't even understand who this is appealing to. Some of y'all that are shilling for this stuff, I hope you're getting paid. Like that would be the better explanation. I hope you're getting paid.
If you're going to shill for bad propaganda, you better be getting paid.
Like Tulsi Gabbard, who is now like, I don't even know if she really tweeted this. Maybe she's in a fucking basement somewhere with a gun to her head. But she tweeted out like, yeah, the Iran war is totally awesome. Never mind what I've been saying for 15 fucking years. And it's like, is there a gun to your head? Do we know she's still alive? Like, what is this? Some pod people shit. The fucking shape changers from the Dominion showed up and just... I want to get a blood sample and see if it just doesn't turn into silver goo in the fucking petri dish. Chat says he's going to risk losing the midterms. Here's the other thing. Here's why I don't think the midterms are going to go that badly for the Republicans. And on one level, they fucking deserve for it to go badly. I don't think it's going to go that badly because the Democrats are not opposed to this. You need to understand this. I heard this. I listening to a sermon while I was bombing around today, getting my comics, and stopped at a Greek place. It's really good. SRN News. This guy's rambling on about it was like Town Hall, I think. .com was this guy rambling on. Well, the Democrats don't want us to have this war in Iran, and it's just these jingling keys in front of fucking MAGA boomers, and it's like, I got news for you. They don't give a fuck. Maybe some of the like progressive like wing, the quote unquote renegade progressive wing, your AOCs, and I say quote unquote on that, but your AOCs and shit might be kind of pretending to be against it. You can bring up a million clips of Hillary just bloodthirsty, foaming at the mouth about how she wants to invade Iran. If Hillary would have won, we would have been in Iran in 2017. All right. The only reason Biden didn't fucking send anybody into Iran is that he had so gutted the military with his fucking vax mandates and shit that he just didn't really have the show of force to do it. No, the Democrats aren't opposed to this shit at all. Okay, Chuck Schumer thinks it's a great fucking idea. CNN and MSNBC are beating the fucking war drums right now. Claiming the Democrats are opposed to this is a thing you jingle in front of fucking MAGA boomers who watch Fox News because that'll get them really scared about it all. Oh my God, the Democrats don't like it. I'm sorry, but this myth that the Democrats are anti-war should have been put to bed after a year of Obama. All right? Frankly, it should have been put to bed after 2006 when they won the House and Senate on a mandate of ending the war and promptly didn't do that.
It's almost
and
as if
fact,
the parties
increased the funding.
It's almost as if the parties don't matter at this point.
It's almost like the Democrats are fucking liars. And a handful of things that they at least sound like they're right about, they don't give a fuck about.
And it's kind of interesting because I've noticed this conversation is happening again. I find myself tempted towards it. And I find myself, like when I'm talking to people who are ravenous anti-Trump people, but they're the same people who would happily go back to Barack Obama in a heartbeat. Like, why are we doing this again? Like, shouldn't we point out the fact that we're just repeating history at this point?
Look, you can point to a few, I'm going to say principled progressives, people like Anna Kasparian. And yeah, you can disagree with her on a whole bunch of stuff, but she's sincere in her fucking beliefs. And she doesn't change her beliefs just because her team changed their fucking beliefs. You can say that about her. She's anti-war. She's consistently been anti-war. You know, a couple people like that. Maybe Chunk Yogurt or whatever the fuck his name is. But by and large, the Democrats aren't anti-war. Democrats just don't like it when Republicans are doing shit. All right. The people that are anti-war are just generally it's the politically homeless people that Trump won with. Okay. The people that love this shit are the people that are going to vote Republican no matter what.
Bingo.
Oh, wow. We're really winning over the white evangelical boomers. They're going to vote Republican no matter what. Okay. They'll vote for Mitt Romney. They'll vote for John McCain. They'll vote for George Bush Sr. or Jr. They'll vote for whoever has the fucking R by their name. Period. Just end up, even if they don't like them, all you got to do is the Democrats bad, and they'll go vote for them. All right. You don't win with those people. If only those people show up, you have Mitt Romney losing by 10 points. Trump won because he dragged a whole bunch of politically homeless people into his camp. Libertarian-leaning people, dissident right people, people that were Democrat 30 years ago, but the Democrats got fucking insane. That's who he drug over. Trump was a Democrat 30 years ago, by the way. That's who he drug over. He drug over a coalition of people who wanted the swamp drained, who wanted the wars ended, and the border closed. That's what the fuck he ran on. The border isn't really as closed as it should be. We're not deporting people nearly half as fast as we should be, by the way. But at least we are making some progress in that. How's the swamp draining going? Not fucking well. How's the no more war shit going? Well, about that. We decided to start a new war for no fucking reason. Chat says my girl, what was her name? Kat Abu Ghari or whatever. She was hot. God, she was fucking hot. she was batshit crazy, but she was fucking hot. Was she like an ex-stripper or some shit? I don't know. Well, apparently she lost her primary, but that's okay because I'm gonna console her. Chat says Trump is trying to collapse the regime in Cuba. Yeah, he's talking about Cuba. I mean, at least Cuba's in our fucking hemisphere. What is it, 50 miles from Florida or something? That's at least arguably okay. There's a case for that. I don't know if I'd do it, but there's a case for that. I wasn't 100% against the fucking Venezuela shit. First of all, it was executed flawlessly. It wasn't the clusterfuck that Iran's turning into. There wasn't, endless, it didn't go badly. Although they did lie to us a little bit. They claimed there were no injuries, and then they had that guy getting a Purple Heart at the State of the Union. But whatever. They always lie a little bit. But it didn't go. It wasn't a fucking clusterfuck. I don't know if it was a good idea. We don't have a great track record with regime change, and it's possible that there would be, and it's still possible, there would be some unintended consequences from that. But there's a case to be made from it. We did it. We got out. Okay. I don't know if I would have done it, but I wasn't against it. And you know what? It was pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty cool. The vibes were on point. And I generally like the idea of targeting leaders, and I always have.
And we use the discombobulator, which is pretty much a weapon from Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah. I like the idea of targeting leaders too. I think that in general, the world would, in the ancient times, the king rode into battle with his men. That's long since passed. And I feel like if leaders were more concerned about their safety in times of war, there would be a lot less times of war. Because war as it is in the modern era is basically the Hunger Games. It's rich people watching teenagers murder each other.
Oh.
Like that's what it is now. I'm sorry. Okay. And generally, even if you lose, you're left alone as the leader, unless of course you try to start your own bank. That's inexcusable. But otherwise, we generally just let you alone. So yeah, I wasn't just dead set against the Venezuela shit. I was cautious about it. I was saying, hey, this might not have been the best idea, but maybe it'll turn out great. I hope it turns out great. I'm not rooting against America. I fucking live here. It's in my best interest that America be doing well, and I am kind of selfish. So no, I'm not rooting against America. But the Iran war is dumb. There's no justification for it. It's very obviously being done in the name of this fucking one little parasite country that we can't seem to shake. It's, so far the only effect I'm seeing here at home is the gas is more expensive. Awesome, cool. So yeah, trying to topple Cuba, it would be one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if it's a good idea. I wouldn't necessarily advocate for it, but there's at least a strong case to be made for it. And I think we could do it. I don't think it would turn into a fucking disaster. And also, we wouldn't be doing it for Israel, okay? If we were toppling Haiti because the Dominican Republic had a giant fucking lobby in our government, that would be bad. I don't know, Luke. It's been a black pilling time politically for me. And I'm a man of faith. One day I'm going to be dead and I'm going to be in heaven. So on one level, it's fine. It's fine. I don't even have any kids that I got to worry about. I ain't got to look at my kid and go, man, you're fucked. I'm sorry. Wish I could help, bud.
Yeah, I guess my lack of political interest right now has caused me to be more reflective of my artistic pursuits, and which is why I'm so excited right now, because I finally discovered grok and I love it. And I'm sure you love it too with the images I've made for you.
Yes. You can throw up some of them if you want.
Let's see.
Something else, since we're talking about religion, Luke, I shared this with you. I had a weird little thought last week. I think it was around Thursday or Friday. Because I was looking at a lot of these preachers that, they're sitting there rubbing their hands with glee as brown people are murdered in the name of other fucking Middle Easterns that hate them. And I'm like, why is Christendom so shitty? Why, and it just, there's something about all human endeavors that don't scale well. That is the great like challenge of civilization, as it were. But I think in particular it's true in the church. Like you go to a local church, some unaffiliated local church, and you're going to find the Spirit of God there, like 9 times out of 10. In fact, the greatest church service I ever went to, Luke, was in a dude's basement. I shit you not. There was a chick I was seeing, and I only went on a few dates with her, but at one point I went to her small group, and this small group had this weird, so like they basically all broke off of the church, right? Because their church was getting kind of shitty and corrupt, according to them. I don't know, 2 sides to every story, but according to them. So this guy's small group basically turned into like a Wednesday night church service, and it was down in his like finished basement. It was basically this media room with like shelves of DVDs and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good stuff.
And honest to God, one of the most moving, spirit-filled fucking church, probably the most spirit-filled church service I've ever experienced in my life. And it was like maybe 30 people down there, if that. I think probably closer to 20. And then you go to like a mega church and you're like, wow, this is awful. Like, it's easy to point and laugh at like the opulence and the corruption of the Catholic Church. And like, yeah, rightfully so. But like, look at all these giant Protestant, or like, you either get the old fucking denominations where it's like just hollow. It's just been hollowed out by like worldly leftism. And there's like a fucking ugly dyke as a fucking pastor, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And there's not even a Bible in the building. Like, it's an ugly dyke reading from the Quran with a pride flag behind her, like just nonsense,
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, Jesus has left the building, obviously. That's obvious. But then some of the other, like, quote unquote conservative or mega churches, it's a little harder to tell, but it's there. You get like the greed of a Joel Osteen or a Kenneth Copeland, or you get like the just raw ego and pride of a Mark Driscoll or a James McDonald, or you get the lust for worldly power of like a Doug Wilson or a Jack Hibbs. And it's like in all these cases, it's like, man, Jesus has left the building. Like it's like in Family Guy when they searched for God and they went to India and they got out the plane for like 1 minute and go, God is not here. Like going to Doug Wilson's church and like, God is not here. Chat's calling you AI slopistic layman.
Sure. You guys have no great applications than that. I actually plan to use this stuff for artistic pursuits.
Luke's going to make it become self-aware. And then he's going to convert it to Christianity.
Oh, there's so many applications to this stuff. It's amazing.
Oh, but yeah, that was a thought I had where I'm like, and I was kind of sharing that. People were like, well, a lot of human endeavors don't scale. And I'm like, I get it. You know what I mean? That's the old joke about communism. It's like everybody's a communist in their immediate family. Like, yeah, in your household, it's, by each according to their means and to each according to their needs. Sure. But that doesn't work on a civilization level. It doesn't work really further than a household. You might even call yourself quote unquote socialist when it comes to your friends and your family. You know what I mean? And maybe
of course.
But that doesn't work at the city level. You know what I mean? It just doesn't scale. And I there's something about organized Christianity that doesn't scale. It just doesn't.
I mean, realistically, if I can divulge like a philosophical point on this, because the thing about Christianity is I make a distinction between like internal religions and external religions. And internal religions are great because they function to how you integrate, how you talk with your neighbors, how you talk to yourselves, how you raise your family. But the external religions, that has to be for the broader pursuits, because the internal religions can't be applied to a larger scale, because you're trying to treat the entire world in the same way you treat your immediate family, and that doesn't work. That's not practical. It's not realistic.
No, that's why, and I mean the Bible acknowledges this. You know, you have passages in the Bible, and obviously the leftists love to shove it in your face, where they talk about being kind to the traveler, and they use this as a pro-immigration thing, but it meant the traveler, the stranger in your land. It usually meant somebody that was passing through. But yeah, on a one-to-one level, you need to treat people kindly, but also in the Bible, your country being taken over and ruled by foreigners is a curse and a punishment from God. It's not a good thing. Like
yeah, punishment for wanting the cheap labor and the cheap votes. That's what you get.
I feel like with churches, I don't think a church should grow to a size that the pastor doesn't know all of the people. A pastor should know at the very minimum the first name and face of every single person that regularly attends. And if he can't do that because of the sheer size, the church is too big. And at that point, I think that they should grow like amoebas, like single-celled organisms. They should split into two. You should look and say, hey, I noticed that a bunch of you guys are driving like 45 minutes to get here, and there's no church down in your town. So we're going to like take you guys and our assistant pastor and start a new church down there. That's how it should grow. Because otherwise you end up with things that are bloated and ugly and become about things that are very, very much not Christianity. Usually either weird prosperity gospel fucking nonsense or some political movement. It becomes the Doug Wilson, let's take over the world pinky shit.
Oh yeah, because that's going to win votes.
By the way, I saw somebody showed a video. Have you ever seen the inside of Doug Wilson's church?
Oh, I've been meaning to check that. I haven't seen. Let me see.
It is the most brutalistic thing you've ever seen in your life. I'm not the Catholic kind of like it has to be a pretty building thing, but there's a difference between like that and making it ugly and simple on purpose.
Let's see.
Like I understand some churches, it's like you took over an abandoned storefront or something like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's something like you're literally taking an abandoned thing and redeeming it for Christ. That's great. But making it ugly and simple on purpose because you're all about control and power is not how it should look.
Let's see, where is it? I want to say I found it, but I just want to make sure I'm posting it right.
Doug Wilson's shit too, by the way. Fuck him. He's like Jerry Falwell minus the charm. Like Jerry Falwell, like say what you will about Falwell, and there's a lot that could be said, but he was a big bombastic guy. Jerry Falwell was a showman.
Yes.
All right. Like he loved a good fight. He loved to get on news shows and argue with people, even though he wasn't even really good at it. He didn't care. He was having a grand old time. He loved to sue fucking Larry Flint because over hurt feelings, even though that went bad for him too. He would call the purple Teletubby gay for no reason.
Is this it?
Yes.
Wow.
Does that look like they just opened it and they have no money?
I get the very overly minimalistic puritanical notion because if the Catholics were getting on this, they would decorate every single inch of the walls with stuff.
I get it. But here's the thing: there's nothing wrong with the Catholics doing that. The problem with the Catholics is they think that's the point. The problem with the Catholics isn't that they have really pretty buildings; those are great and cool, and I love them. The problem with the Catholics is they think they have to.
Yeah,
that's the problem with the Catholics.
No, yeah,
but the problem with Doug Wilson is he thinks you can't.
It's a sin. You can't enjoy that.
Yeah, like this is the weird thing that like conservative Christians have with money. They either fall in the prosperity gospel thing where it's like God's gonna give me a fucking Bugatti, and if he didn't, it's because I didn't pray enough and I didn't give enough money to Kenneth Copeland. Or they fall into this mentality where it's like you should like idolize poverty. And like give all your work. You should live like Ebenezer Scrooge, like live like a miser, no matter how much money you have. You know,
Unless you're the pastor, of course, because it's
oh
almost
yeah,
like
oh no, I'm sure Doug lives well.
yeah, it's so weird. It's like, I mean, I know Doug's theology and his position, and of course I don't know his livelihood, but he is going to make, he is making bank on this. There's
Oh,
no
no, Doug
chance.
is-
There's no chance that he's not poor.
That's the other thing about these guys. I was listening to like fucking, oh god, I can't even remember. God damn, blanking on his name. The Focus on the Family guy, James Dobson. Some old thing of James Dobson on the radio, and he's trying to act like he's some simple folk guy. Let me look up real quick James Dobson's net worth before he died, at least. Now, again, this is estimation, fine, but according to basic searches, James Dobson died with about $4 to $5 million to his name, and I bet you that's nothing compared to Doug. Hang on. Doug's only at about 2 million.
Oh, really?
What? I mean, he's at 2 million. I'm not at 2 million. I don't know about you, Luke.
Well, I mean, I guess he's a cheap. I guess he is frugal as far as a very prosperous preacher is concerned. But the problem is his preaching sucks. His implications suck.
Well, the problem is Doug Wilson isn't. Occasionally, he'll give lip service to saved by grace and all this other stuff. But the problem is Doug Wilson is very much teaching a very legalistic gospel, and he's very much teaching a political philosophy. Doug is here not to win. Doug is a preacher that's not here to win souls for Christ. He's here to win the soul, quote unquote, of America. And I don't know if you knew this, Luke, but America doesn't have a soul. Norway doesn't have a soul. Israel doesn't have a soul. Iran doesn't have a soul. Australia doesn't have a soul. France doesn't have a soul. Mexico doesn't have a soul. Brazil doesn't have a soul. And you know why? Because at the end of the day, these are lines we drew in the dirt, and they're not real. I'm sorry to tell you, at the end of the day, they're not real. This isn't like open border shit or something. We just like they're important lines we drew in the dirt, and we drew them for a reason. But at the end of the day, they're just lines we drew in the fucking dirt, and they can be erased and redrawn for any number of reasons, Luke. I have a soul. You have a soul. Everyone listening to this has a soul. I happen to believe that fat little retarded dog of mine downstairs has a soul. And that means that you, me, and yes, even that dog will exist 1 billion years from now. Whereas all of the nations that I listed probably will not. There needs to be a lot less concern about the soul of a nation.
And if I can't, that's good. But at this point, because of that, I want to quote this directly from C.S. Lewis in the Screwtape Letters because it's so poignant. Quote, and this is what Screwtape telling demons how to lure the next generation. And he says, quote, but I would not end that on that note. I would not, hell forbid, encourage that in your minds, that delusion, which you must always foster in the minds of your human victims. I mean, the delusion that the fate of nations is itself more important than the fate of individual souls, the overthrow of free peoples, and the applications of free states always being fun, for only individuals can be saved or damned because sons of the enemy are food for us. And that's the thing that Doug and too many of these politically aware Christians are getting too sucked into. They think the continuation of America is the continuation of the church. Like, no, the church is still going to be here, even if it's unlikely that America is going to go away anytime soon, but the church will pursue. It'll always persist. And unfortunately, like you, people are going to think the church is full of nonsense.
Here would be my question for all the kind of Doug Wilsons of the world. I know I'm going to sound like a leftard here, but whatever. By the way, Tommy Crown, 1980, tips $5, no message. Thank you very much for that. Take a gay guy, okay? Take the most flamboyant gay guy you could possibly imagine, okay? He's doing gay porn. He's getting fisted by a bunch of hairy dudes. He's even listening to Nick Fuentes. That's how gay this guy is, okay? Take this guy, and I want you to think to yourself, Doug, and all the people like Doug, would you rather, if you could only pick one, would you rather him become straight or become a Christian? And take that of any kind of sin that you want. Take the pornography addict that goons all the time. Take the pothead that smokes pot all the time. Whatever sin you're railing against, which is obviously, by the way, Doug, not the sin of gluttony and sloth based on your physical appearance. But whatever sin it is that you rail against, Doug, in this moment. Take the most quintessential person doing that sin you could think of and think, would I rather him be saved or not smoke pot anymore? If I could only pick one. Now, look, if you're saved, you're probably going to knock a lot of that shit off, at least at some point, as God works on you. But that's kind of between you and him.
Oh,
and also, you knocking that off isn't what saves you, just so we're clear. It isn't even what preserves your salvation, just so we're clear.
This reminds me of an old, like, I remember this old, like, book of, like, Christian, like, church jokes of comic images, and there's a picture of a pastor kneeling on his knees and say, "Oh Lord, change whatever you want of me, but don't take away my tax exempt status." And all of a sudden, there's a zap, and he makes him black. Yeah, because I mean, that is a good point, though. Like saying, "Oh, I get rid of this one sin, but you're still not saved." Like.
Yeah, what is it that bothers you at the end of the day? Are you bothered that they're not saved, or are you bothered that they're your enemies in some political fight? You know, I used to ask this when everyone was whining about gay marriage in the late 2000s. I'd ask this at Christians, like, what bothers you more, like queers getting married or evangelical or Christians getting divorced? Like, which of those two things bothers you more? So I feel like maybe one of them should bother you more, and it's not the one that does.
Yeah. It's
like look, I'm not saying that politics doesn't matter and you shouldn't have your political view. I'm sorry I cut you off, Luke. I'll let you.
It's like the joke, like, we must get rid of homosexuality, but let's not worry about fornication. Like, no, I'm pretty sure we should be worried about both.
Or you know what? At the end of the day, if you're a preacher, why don't you worry about getting people right with Jesus? And then you know what? You see if maybe a whole bunch of other stuff ain't going to start sorting itself out in their lives.
And so, oddly enough, it does. Like
you're asking you're asking non-Christians to act like Christians, and guess what? It's hard enough to act like a Christian when you have the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
It's pretty impossible when you don't. Okay.
And you shouldn't even try without it, because no one outside of the Holy Spirit can please God. And so when you try to please God without the Holy Spirit, like, no, you're just making it, you're just trying to take up dirty rags and give it, here, I made you a precious gift. Like, no, that's not how that works.
Well, look at it this way. You know, there's that verse in the Bible where people are saying, you know, Lord, Lord. And he says, you know, depart from me, I never knew you. But what were those people saying to Jesus? They were saying, I did this, I did that. They were coming at God with their deeds, with their works. Whereas, you know what? You got to come at God like the thief on the cross, where you have nothing but pointing to Jesus and saying, I'm with that guy.
Yeah, one of my favorite pastors, like, did that. He was pointing out the very same thing you're pointing out, and he said, "But Lord, have we not cast out demons of your name? Have we not done great things?" And he said, "Be gone from me, you worker of iniquity, because if your first impulse is to talk about how great you are, you don't know the first thing about who I am."
And, you know, Steve Brown is my absolutely favorite preacher. And he's said numerous times, he goes, you know, Christianity isn't about getting better. Your Christian walk isn't even about getting better. Getting better is a side effect. It is a ripple effect. It is secondary and even tertiary. It's a thing that happens as a result of you being saved and you trying to get closer to God. You spending time with God, you praying, that sort of thing. You know, he said once, he goes, you know, Christianity is about understanding that that you are saved and God will still love you even if you don't get better. And ironically enough, that is the point in which you start getting better.
Amen.
And I'm sorry, but Doug Wilson screams control to me. That's what that man wants, control. Like, more and more, he runs his little small town of Moscow, Idaho, I believe it is. Like it's the town from fucking Footloose.
Oh, I've heard some stories about that.
You know, and it's like,
And while I can't confirm this, there is some interesting stories about how he encourages relationships between married people. Like what's horrible is that feminists always complain about toxic masculinity. The problem is Doug Wilson's actually playing into that in the worst ideas possible. He's like, oh yeah, we're going to reject feminism by being the very thing that feminists complains about. Oh, great idea there, Doug.
Doug Wilson is like a Christian in a Stephen King novel.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That is exactly what he is. He is the evil religious dad that made Carrie snap and get her powers. Okay, whatever. Like, that's exactly what he is. Like, he's secretly working for Pennywise.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think that that's about it for tonight. Folks, I'm going to check the tip history one last time, see if we got another tip. Go ahead and refresh it. And that's about it for tonight. I am not going to be having a show next Wednesday. Unfortunately, I have to work. I normally will have Wednesdays off. However, the boss basically begged me because she had like nobody on Wednesday. And I'm finally like, okay, fine. So I'm going to take a look at the schedule. I'm going to try and do a show. I'm thinking, Luke, are you available Friday?
And I might be working on doing something on Friday, so I'm not sure.
We'll figure it out.
But before you go away, wait. Before you go away, I decide to have. Okay, Grok, can you take this image of Doug Wilson and make something interesting about it? And I said, I got looking around, being paranoid, and this is the first thing that popped up.
That sounds about right to Doug Wilson.
Let's see if I can play the audio here.
Watching me. Did you hear? I know someone's watching me. Did you hear that? They're hiding back there. I can feel it. This place isn't safe. I have to get out of here.
Yeah, Doug's a disaster, man. Like, honestly. I invite all of you to watch like Doug Wilson interviewing Tucker Carlson and getting his shit pushed in because it's hilarious. I mean, say what you will about Tucker, but he's a very good debater. And Tucker's also very good at like pissing you off.
Yes.
Like he's very good at knowing like there's a line in there where he's talking about Nick Fuentes and Tucker is like, well, he said he's not an anti-Semitic, or anti-Semite and whatever. He said he's going to stop trying to hate people or whatever. And I don't know if he meant it or not. And Doug's like, he didn't. And Tucker just goes, well, I guess you're better at reading people's minds than I am. Those are little subtle fucking things like that. I gotta love it. He did an interview with Joe Ken. I gotta watch later tonight. And by the way, I have issues with Tucker. He's constantly on the banned porn thing. Which is
I mean, Tucker is great, but of course it's so thrown out too often. But he is effective.
Goes out the window.
He is effectively a grifter. I mean, that's not. He's a grifter that makes a good argument, but he's still a grifter at the end of the day.
I trust Tucker a little bit more than I trust most of these guys for one simple reason. Like a lot of Tucker admits he was wrong about a lot of things. And that's a thing that so many of these guys won't do. Like, and by the way, all the people that were like for the Iraq war and then Trump came along and they were suddenly anti-Iraq war, they're the people that are now for the Iran war because Trump says so. But like the people that are like, no, I was wrong about the Iraq war. Those are the ones that I trust. The people that have like done a 180, but they've done it in a way they're like, look, I was wrong and I'm sorry. Maybe they mean it. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Again, I'm not Professor X. Can't read your fucking mind. That's for God to judge. But when somebody just flat out says, I'm wrong and I'm sorry, that wins you a lot of points with me. Maybe you're full of shit. I don't know. Again, I'll let God handle that. I can't read it. I can't read minds, and I probably wouldn't want to. But that always has. I'll give Tucker credit for that. Now, yeah, Tucker's gonna shill his stupid tobacco products. I got organic tobacco chew. It's like, cool. I'm glad it's organic. We wouldn't want people to get cancer. But yeah, I Tucker is a bit of a grifter, but They all are in that space. I mean, what can you do?
Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, if you enjoy the content, do consider supporting the show. Streamlabs.com/thebeglov, paybell.me/thebeglov. And I have a link to the Amazon wish list down below if you want to buy me some dumb shit that I like. That would be also pretty rad. Next week, it's up in the arms. I will do a show. If I can get Luke on, I can. If not, I'll at least do one stream next week. A good solid hour stream. I just don't know. Wednesday is the regular thing, and it's going to be a regular thing. This is just a one-off. The schedule's shifting at work, and it's funny that boss has kind of been like, "Oh, would you maybe want Tuesdays off instead?" I'm like, "No, I want Wednesdays." And I didn't say it because I know it's like but I was like, I like having the one day off, and I do because if the old man needs a doctor's appointment, he needs a ride to, or something like that. People just know generally that I'm around on Wednesdays, and also I like reading my comics because I'm a big old man baby. That's why Christian Twitter got mad at me last month.
If God can take one day off after creation, man can take one day off of work.
Yeah, Wednesday is my Sabbath. So generally, but like Christ said, don't be legalistic about the Sabbath. So apparently work needs an ass pulled out of a ditch on this next Wednesday. So, it's new issues day, boss. Exactly. It's new comic book day, boss. Can't come in.
Yes.
My comics.
yes.
I like having a weekday off. It's nice running your errands and stuff on a weekday. And it's nice having Wednesday off. It really is. It's nice. Just go into the comic book store, run some errands, come home, read my comics. It's nice. It's the simple joys in life, Luke. As I love I just want to sit down on my Sabbath day and enjoy the all-American art form of the comic book.
Amen.
Wow.
And you still find some good stuff in there?
Oh yeah. IDW is doing great stuff with Turtles these days. DC's just on fire lately. As long as you avoid Harley Quinn slop. Marvel's not doing good. Occasionally something interesting pops up, but generally no. But DC's on fire and great stuff with Turtles over at IDW. All right. Well, that's about it for tonight, folks. I want to thank everybody for listening. Again, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after, we'll be back on schedule. That's it for tonight, folks. Beglov out.